Hello, and welcome to the Celestial Garden Show. I'm your host, Shanice, and this is your transit talk for the week of July the 1st to July the 7th, 2024. And this week, we have a few astrological events happening, such as Neptune stationing retrograde on Tuesday and Mercury also moving into Leo on the same day. We also have the new moon happening on Friday, July the 5th, in the sign of Cancer at 14 degrees. So let's get into today's episode. So we're going to start with the tarot card that came out for the week's energy. And the tarot card that came out is the Three of Cups. And the key words for this card are celebration, connection, and harmony. This card signifies joy, friendship, and communal success, suggesting that this week could be a great time to come together with others and enjoy shared experiences. So, this is a great week to spend time with close family and friends and your loved ones. It's a great week to start new traditions like a family or a friend game night. But the card that was grounding the Three of Cups for this week. So the card or the energy that's behind and supporting the Three of Cups was the Lovers, or is the Lovers. And this is emphasizing the importance of harmony and balance and meaningful connections in our relationships. So it's a week to embrace the love and support of those around you and make decisions from that place of unity, to celebrate the bonds that bring you joy into your life. So both of these cards are basically telling us to walk into the week more intentional about the relationships we are in and building. This is a really significant energy because of the new moon that's happening at the end of the week. And we'll get more into it once we go over Friday. But we're going to start with Monday. And on Monday, we have the moon in Taurus forming a conjunction with Mars in Taurus. And Mars is not comfortable in Taurus because Taurus likes to do things right then and there. And I mean, Mars likes to do things right then and there. And Taurus is like, nah, I got time. I'm going to take my time. So it's the opposite of Mars' energy. And it's also a bit stubborn. It doesn't like to really do things differently versus Mars. It likes to change things up and it likes to start new things. So we will wake up with the moon, our inner emotions, and Mars, the way that we take action. And those two coming together in Taurus, it may have us feeling a bit restless or impatient, um, or even stubborn. But the positive expression of this energy, the moon conjunct Mars and Taurus, would be us waking up more energized and determined to start passion projects or creative projects, things that we feel aesthetically drawn to. This is a good transit for working out. But in the afternoon, the moon will form a sextile to Venus in Cancer. So this day, honestly, is just a really good day to start any creative projects that you have been working on or even indulging yourself. If you feel pretty lazy Monday, I mean, it is ruled by the moon Monday, but it's probably all of this Cancerian Taurus energy with the moon being in Taurus and Venus talking to the moon in Taurus while it's in Cancer. This is asking us to connect with some of our favorite people. You might feel focused on creative work or, like I said, indulging in something. I don't know if I said that or not, but you might be indulging in something that you really enjoy. This is very much daydreamer type energy, which is great for visualizing what we want to plant during the new moon in Cancer on Friday. So we're not going to, intentionally set intentions on Monday, but it's a really good day to kind of start to visualize your goals and the things that you want to bring into fruition. Um, when the moon, my voice cracked, excuse me, when the moon forms a sextile to Venus in the afternoon. And then we have a bit of unstable energy also with this, because we might feel the need to overindulge, or we might feel codependent on others to make us feel good. So just be on the lookout for that as well. In the evening, you should start to feel a bit more stable, especially if you were start feeling that restless energy from the moon conjuncting Mars in the morning, because the moon will start to form a sextile with Saturn towards the evening time. So this is us getting more reflective about our long-term goals and like the practical things in our lives, and we might feel more focused um, to take on responsibility, or we could potentially feel burdened by that responsibility. Like it could feel like a heavy weight, depending on how you look at it, your perspective. But let's get into Tuesday, which is July the 7th. And this is actually the day that Neptune stations retrograde. And on Tuesday morning, when most of us are asleep, the moon will form a conjunction with Uranus and Taurus. So some of us might experience insomnia, or again feeling restless, because Uranus is also a very restless type of energy. Because we might want to get started on something that may need a little bit more time, being that this conjunction is happening in Taurus. Um, it feels like you can sense some change probably coming. You might be feeling that way, but you really don't know what it is or what to expect or when it'll happen. But it's kind of like anticipating some sort of change. And then Neptune stations retrograde in the morning. So Neptune is our intuition and how we connect to our intuition. And it's also our spiritual beliefs. It's how we surrender to those beliefs, how we, you know, escape reality too, in a way, kind of similar to Jupiter. But this Neptune, I find, deals more so with our spiritual and religious beliefs, though. So this is us tapping into that energy and getting more intuitive and connected to that. So like starting to pay attention to like prayers you've prayed, those synchronicities happening in your life, starting to see those answers happening. That's Neptune retrograde, and us getting more connected to that. So us probably praying and so doing some sort of religious ritual or routine, and spiritual ritual or routine. That is also Neptune retrograde energy. If y'all hear some pages flipping, that's because I'm looking through my notes. But Neptune retrograde is a great time to tap into your intuition, tap into your emotions. If you feel more sensitive, lean into that, because that can tell you a lot about what you probably suppress and what would potentially get you closer to your dreams. So I tell people all the time to like lean into the emotions that are scary but not harmful. So if you are afraid of being vulnerable, allow yourself to be vulnerable with while Neptune is retrograde. And Neptune will be retrograde from July the 2nd to December the 7th of this year, which is 2024. And the key themes of this retrograde are introspection and reflection, spiritual awakening, illusions and deception, healing and compassion. And those are all the themes. So Neptune is a great time to just start meditating and journaling more, like I said, or I didn't mention journaling, but like praying, doing some sort of spiritual, religious routine and getting more committed to that. Because I personally believe that our spiritual and religious beliefs are very personal to us. Like we can go and get our spiritual food from church or wherever you go. But at the end of the day, we have to build that foundation within ourselves. And ultimately, that's all Neptune retrograde represents. It is a generational planet. So we will feel this more generationally than personally. Like we'll probably start to see a lot more people awakening and becoming more self-reflective and seeing how they fit into the bigger picture or the collective. So that's pretty much Neptune retrograding, and that is all. Neptune is stationing retrograde. So this week you could probably feel sleepy. Lethargic is probably the best word because Neptune is stationed in retrograde. Saturn just stationed retrograde. Venus is still in Cancer. And what else? I think I mentioned Neptune retrograde. But yeah, like, so you would probably start to feel a lot more sluggish, a lot more slow, wanting to just enjoy yourself more, not really wanting to work. You might find yourself being that way all week, to be honest, wanting to just like cater to your emotions and feel good. But Mercury will move into Leo, and right as we're waking up. And so I would tell you guys to ground yourself in the morning with some meditation, some yoga, and try to take it easy. Some of us might wake up confused and tired, like I said, you might feel lethargic, and you might actually be wanting to escape reality. And in the afternoon, we might run into a situation where we need to take action when the sun forms a square to the north node. So watch out for feeling stuck or potentially resisting to some changes that you need to make. But when the moon moves into Gemini, we might want to start communicating or get a little bit more curious about how we are feeling, our emotions, or would take it how it applies your situation. You might begin to feel more curious rather than fearful about it. But try to avoid feelings or being scattered brain by channeling this energy into some sort of hobby like reading, or if you're working on some sort of communication project, focus on that communication project. But in the evening, the moon will trine Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So we might experience some sort of deep insight towards what am I talking about our situation that could inspire some form of transformation, us actually being forced to change or feeling forced to change. But try not to get too obsessive about it. And this happens right before we go to bed. So we go to bed either feeling ready to commit to something in regards to like find our financial situation, our love lives, or like relationships. We could go to bed feeling weighed down. But that's because Saturn, or not Saturn, but Venus in Cancer will form a trine to Saturn, which is now retrograde. And so we could feel willing to commit. So what I tell people too is just surrender to what Saturn is trying to get you to change. The challenges that you are experiencing in your life, experiencing now, are probably Saturnian related. You would need to get a reading for me to see that, but most challenges are brought on by Saturn, and they have a Saturn quality. So commit to whatever it is that Saturn is trying to get you to change, because it's only going to help you elevate ultimately. So heading into Wednesday, July the 3rd, we might have some intense and transformative conversations, and gain some powerful insight on some subconscious fears we might have and that we're not aware of. Avoid interactions that might feel manipulative though, because Pluto is involved. So this involves power struggles on Wednesday morning. This could look like an opportunity to be vulnerable with someone you trust or you're trying to build trust with. But just be mindful of playing mind games. Like, just be yourself. Ultimately, like, if you find yourself being manipulative, or you're feeling like you're being manipulated, just be yourself. Like, ultimately, the right person or the right people, the right situation will be attracted to you, and it will be necessary for you. And the people that, or the situation that you are involved in that does not align with who you are, will leave. So just be yourself if you feel like something is manipulative. This is how you start to build trust with your sense of self when you do feel, or you are presented with situations where there are some form of power struggle that you might feel. This is how you gain power within yourself. or, like I said, how you begin to trust yourself. So, Wednesday is a great day to journal. And it's also a day to just to be reflective and to make sure, because this is when what I'm talking about is actually Mercury opposing Pluto. So this is our thoughts. This is how we communicate. And it's making an opposition with Pluto. So Pluto represents our subconscious fears and things that we tend to get into power struggles with. And with Mercury involved, this could be conversations around power struggles, like so, or you could feel like you are in some sort of situation involving a power struggle, or you're feeling manipulated or being manipulative. How take it how it resonates. But this is an opportunity for you to learn how to gain trust within yourself and to not play the mind games, in so many words. Like I said, a great day to journal. Now, Thursday, July the 4th, which is the 4th of July. I don't really tend to celebrate holidays, but I don't know. Anyway, we are open to having healing conversations on this day as the moon in Gemini forms a sextile to Chiron. And this could be around healing your sense of self expression. So try not to avoid uncomfortable conversations because this could be an opportunity for you to heal. Watch out for miscommunication, though, and unrealistic expectations when the moon forms a square to Neptune right before it enters Cancer. And when it enters Cancer, we are now in the dark moon phase of the moon cycle. So this is right before the new moon, and this is an ideal time to really visualize next month's aspirations. You might receive intuitive insights on how you should navigate next month, but overall, this is the sweet spot on what you should be, what intentions you should be setting on Thursday. And Friday is actually the new moon day. We wake up feeling determined and disciplined, while the soldier Mars and Saturn, the dictator, are in a supportive communication. So it's just in time for us to set realistic intentions surrounding the new moon. And it has just the right amount of dreaminess and imagination. It's a great time for focus and practical action. It's really, really trying to get us to take action towards our dreams, because our dreams are a reality. Everything that we see in this world was once somebody's dream. So we can also do that in our lives. And that is what this aspect, when Saturn forms a sextile to Mars, that's what this is telling us. We can also create our dream world for us personally. But the new moon is happening in the evening. And so the main themes of this new moon are emotional well-being, support, and emotional renewal. So set intentions that support and nurture your growth. And just to elaborate a little bit more on this new moon that's happening on Friday, Cancer is a sign that's all about nurturing yourself, loving yourself and those around you. And basically it's mama bear type energy. It likes to embrace its femininity and intuition and wisdom. And some general intention setting ideas for this new moon would be to set intentions around emotional healing and self-care, around nurturing, creating a safe space and comforting your home, or redecorating your home. But that's more like Venus, but Venus is still in Cancer, so I would still say to redecorate would be a great intention setting. Embracing your intuition and independence, not independence, inner wisdom, um, and balancing your work and home life. So those are just some ideas that you can, start spinning the wheels on what you want to set the intentions, what you want your new moon wishes, I guess, to be when that new moon happens on Friday. So we move to Saturday, July the 6th. In the morning, the moon will square Chiron. So this potentially is making us feel emotionally triggered or willing to acknowledge our emotional wounds, because Chiron is an opportunity for healing. This is a great morning to stay in bed, honestly, for a few extra minutes, or pampering yourself to a spa day, because Venus and the moon will form a conjunction in Cancer, and then the moon will also form a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. So this is us possibly bringing some positive change, or we could be feeling unstable and unsure, depending on perspective in your life. But going into the afternoon, we may feel really sensitive to our emotions and the emotions of others when the moon talks harmoniously to Neptune retrograding in Pisces. So we might start to feel a bit more upbeat towards the end of the night. But for the most part, earlier on Saturday, I would highly recommend just like indulging yourself. Honestly, this whole week, nurture yourself, indulge yourself. If you feel sensitive or triggered by anything, try and, tap into some things that brought you joy when you were a little kid, because Cancer is a nostalgic sign as well, and it likes to reminisce on the past. So reminisce on some good things that brought you joy as a kid, and start doing those things. And when the moon enters Leo, it's definitely, I don't know if I said Mercury or the moon on Saturday entering Leo, but the moon is going to enter Leo, where Mercury is now in, and the sign that Mercury is now in. And so we might start to feel a bit more upbeat towards the end of the day. We might want to, go out, and we might spend the whole morning getting pampered, getting our hair done, getting our nails done. And then in the evening, we might want to go out and show the world like how good we look. That's very Leo-esque. And closing out the week on Sunday, July the 7th, the moon is in Leo all day, and it's not really making any aspects. So when the moon is in Leo, we might feel bold, creative, and confident. And some negative expressions of this energy would be us being dramatic or really seeking attention and being stubborn. But in the afternoon, the moon in Leo will be giving us a bit of optimism and opportunities. I said the moon in Leo. The moon in Jupiter and Gemini will be giving us a bit of opportunities and optimism to expand our minds and learning. And we might want to share ideas. We might feel more inspired to connect and socialize on Sunday. It doesn't look like a Sunday where we stay in. It doesn't look very typical Sunday. It looks like a Sunday where we want to like have a Sunday barbecue or something. In the evening, the moon will form a trine to the North Node, supporting our spiritual growth and encouraging us to take a bold step towards our purpose. So be on the lookout for potentially feeling impulsive on Sunday, but just enjoy yourself. Go to the pool, hang out with some friends, go to the beach, have fun, go to the arcade, do some Leo type stuff, have fun. Okay, so that closes out our week. If you have any astrological questions like career, I'm not going to give an extensive interpretation when I answer you guys' questions, but I will give enough information to help you understand what's going on and answer the question. But if you have any astrological questions, send them over to the Celestial Garden Co. That's CO at gmail.com. I also have a form, a Google form that you can fill out, and it'll have all of the information. But if you do send it over via email, make sure you put your date of birth, your birth time, and birth location in question. And yeah, do not give me too much information. I like to surprise people with astrology. So just I'll answer your question in the next episode of the podcast. And then in the next episode, I do plan on talking about tracking love transits. I get a lot of questions just off the bat about love. So I do plan on talking about that in next week's episode along with the transits. So stay tuned for that as well. And make sure you are subscribed to my email list. And the link will also be on the podcast page or profile wherever you listen to this episode. You will see a link to the newsletter, and there's also a moon guide for the Cancer new moon that is free and downloadable. It's a downloadable moon guide PDF format. And if you have any questions, I'm just trying to get everything out. If you have any questions, or if you want to book a reading to understand how this energy may show up in your life, then make sure you head over to the celestialgarden.org and book a reading. Until next time, you guys, bye.